Hello, Ellie. Congratulations, you have redeemed first. How are you doing? The cabbages and the forks have arrived. Doing fine, vibing. Good to hear. Definitely be a night to vibe and to do stuff. Or to vibe off stuff, pretty much. Why is this too high? Okay. Hey, not quite. How are you doing? LD, thank you so much for redeeming Hydrate and Posture Check. Gotta start with a bang. Indeed. Alright, so, gonna give a laydown on what's happening tonight. We are gonna work on some conceptual ideas for the Birb Knight skin. Nice, Lauren. Thank you for the good luck with art. Essentially, we've been working a lot on some animation pieces and like filling that in. Thought I'd change things up a bit this time for Birb Knight stuff, where we're actually going to be working on trying to come up with ideas and trying to get some concepts together for some pieces that how do you say I guess don't like translate or don't have any translation from Death's Door to Hollow Knight, where like something new has to be created, or we have to modify an existing thing or determine what existing things from Death's Door go where. For the most part, a lot of the what's it called, a lot of the sections of the Hollow Knight custom, or the custom Knight stuff, are fairly translatable. A lot of them have some translation, mostly with the Knight themselves. Like fire, if you walk, you walk, you run. If you dash, well, you roll. Those are equivalent to each other. But there are some things that don't really translate too well from Death's Door to Hollow Knight, or don't exist. Much of the case being the translation of spells between the games. So Death's Door has a total of 4 spells. Hollow Knight, if we're going really like just, well, technically has 4 spells that Death's Door does. Hollow Knight, if we're just going with basic, like the basic spells, technically has 3 with 2 upgrade, with an upgrade for each of them. So a total of 6 different types in a way, or like 3 but with like 6 variants. Death's Door doesn't even have any variants with their animations and whatnot. It actually might be good to bring up some example stuff I took a while back on the concepts that are there. Concepts, of course, or at least on some of the things that Hollow Knight has, or Death's Door has, but not so much that, what's it called? Death's Door, yeah. I mean, you'll see what I mean. So, spells don't translate too well, because we're very limited. And some of them aren't really attack stuff, and they're all off of a horizontal type of movement. So something completely new has to be thought up for the vertical attacks. So Howling Wraiths and Abyss Shriek, because there isn't anything really translatable to that. And then there's like everything is off a horizontal movement, and we only have 2 slots for that. And we have to be considerate of some of the animation saving tactics that are used for what's it called? That are used for Death's Door. Let me quickly import some stuff instead of just constantly staring at this one thing. Pictures. Bring all of this in and this. Is there anything else? So yeah, we're going to work on today. We are working on spells. Good enough. So I just brought a whole host of reference images that are 2 of the spells in Death's Door. The other 2 that are in Death's Door are Hookshot, or yeah, Hookshot. That's all I know it as. I don't know its actual name. I just know it as Hookshot. And Bow and Arrow. Which some cases are a little bit tricky to make use of. So, in terms of coming up with things we need to consider for spells for Hollow Knight, is we need to make sure that if we can try to tie things in, we tie things in. But we must be considerate of the fact that we need to be clear on which is what. So if we have base version of VS, then if we have VS, then we should be able to identify its VS from the get-go. If it is Shade Soul, we should be able to identify that VS has turned into Shade Soul without really needing to go into the menu and identifying and looking and seeing your badges. We're looking on like OBS if you have like one of the trackers for randomizers up. Want to avoid that. Want to be able to tell like from right then and there, like, oh, this is nice, but it's not the most powerful. And then you see like, oh, this is the most powerful, because Hollow Knight utilizes that in some regard, where things are more powerful. Like you can tell things are more powerful, not only because the detail is even greater, but you can also tell it's more powerful because of a set theme that is done for Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight basic upgrades, everything is pretty much just white, and then when you get upgrades, everything has the theme of black or void, with Abyssric having a bit of white aspects to it to make it pop even more. So Hollow Knight has that, which makes this a bit tricky. So a long time ago, I originally had a bunch of these concepts, or at least screenshots taken for reference, because that was the start of the original concept, and then I completely forgot about. I don't have any pictures of Bow and Arrow or Hookshot, though I think I might eliminate Hookshot to being something we use for C-, since that will be a case where, since that spell specifically is a movement type thing, especially a horizontal movement, I'll be able to find some way to translate it into C- for Hollow Knight, so that might work out. Bow and Arrow, Bomb, and Fire, all relatively take the places in VS and Shade Soul. Though the one concern that I don't know off the bat is if in terms of like the sprites, I don't know if if VS uses the same exact sprite animation, or there's like a slight difference, or there's 2. If there's 2, that makes things easy. Then we could technically add Bow and Arrow. But if we use the same thing, we have to cut bow and arrow from that and find a use for it somewhere else. Because we can only have one animation, and we can't do drawing of a bow and then like a fire orb kind of thing. With the bomb and the fire, you can at least get away with that. But the question is, how do we translate this to Hollow Knight for VS? And if we do, there's a lot to, I didn't realize how much there is to unpack with just spells alone, because there's a lot of consideration that must be done. And like, I do want to try to tie some kind of theme together so it is noticeable. Like the differences are noticeable. But I am now starting to see why I might have ignored this at first. But we need to do it anyway. So we got we got fire. So we got the both of those. Now, one route we can approach to this to make like the theme similar, because if we can't make the colors similar in some regard, then we need to make like a certain aspect of it, like a certain theme or something that we can like utilize, like more detail or something along those lines. Off the bat, if just a question posing to anyone, if I say, well, let's at least get some like looks of like what would fire and what would fire essentially look like somewhat as a sprite, and then what bomb would look like as a sprite if it's tossed in a VS kind of form. So both are likely going to be circular, but like you can already see that's just a glowing ball with like a trail. Glowing ball, like not even that. And then it has like a trail in some regard, like a very light trail. Yep. So anything that would give me a quick thing that I represent this as. Like basic, quick representation. Hey, Ego, how you doing? Welcome on in. Yeah, basic concept of just like, it's pretty much just that, like, in a nutshell. Oops. Like, that's pretty much like the equivalent of what it would be like in Hollow Knight. Because, like, there's not much to it. Like, sparks up and all that, but it's just a glowing ball going fast and zoomy. With like a slight particle trail. You're doing okay, but oh, you're a bit sick. Hope the sickness passes quickly, Ego. It's unfortunate to hear. And your aircon is busted, so it's 90 degrees in main powerhouse. Ah, I've been hearing there's like so many air conditioners, like so many people's air conditioners are just broken or not working. I've been hearing that so much as of late. Let me try to make sure. Ah, yours just got fixed too. Ugh. That's honestly quite annoying. Another part broke. Ugh. Well, hopefully it's a quick fix. Oh, a very expensive one, sadly. Oh. God, that sucks. Hopefully it just... Hopefully it's able to be repaired fairly quick, and then it just works forevermore and doesn't encounter anything from there going forward. Really hope that like it will be good after that. Yeah, try to stay cool. Take it easy. Okay, so fire has this interesting trail effect to it. I don't really think it's that kind of move. Hey, other fries. Any plans to play Call of Land on stream? I was debating on that. Also, good to see you. And most... I thought you were... Are you back? Or are you still away? I sure hope you do. I mean, I've definitely, like, I've thought about it. So, like, if everyone wants, I'll like, post it up in the Discord. Most, like, I was going to play on stream, I just didn't know when. Like, do we want to do it on, like, I'll post again, see what what everyone else says, that is not able to be here tonight. Do we play it Thursday and Friday? And of course we're turning on Steam integration, because of course we're going to turn on Steam integration for this. Because it's going to be hilarious. Or do we do it on the weekend, on Saturday and Sunday? You endorse your decision to play Call of Lamb stream. I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. I mean, been waiting for this for quite some time. I remember there was a point in, like, the Massive Monster Discord, they were like, when they were doing the first set of prototype, when they were like partnered with the Devolver, and like slowly announcing things, but like mostly announcing things in person at like conventions. I remember, like, long ago, they didn't even reveal the name, but there was a little contest to guess what fill in the blank cult of the blank we were supposed to guess what it was, and whoever did would get a Steam key. You said Thursday, Friday was an option? Yeah, Thursday, Friday, or the weekend, which would be Saturdays, or Saturday and Sunday. Thursdays and Fridays, we start at the usual time, which for me is around like 5:36 p.m. or like 8:30, 9 p.m. for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people are on East Coast time. Saturday and Sunday, it would be at 2 p.m. for me, so 3 p.m. or not 3 p.m. 5 p.m. for everyone on East Coast. Yeah, Friday off, Thursday you work in the morning, so I'll be able to participate too. Ah, yeah, nice. So yeah, we could do it day one launch. Could do a day one launch then. Again, I'll drop a poll in the Discord and engage what people would like to. Because I know it's a little bit harder weekdays. So again, that's why I want to like gauge what's going on. Yeah, we'll absolutely be playing it. I was just debating, like, oh, I want to finish Bear and Breakfast, but like we'll interchange. I need to like come up with like all that. Yeah, day one launch. You won't be able to participate on a weekend. So what we actually could do in that case is like do some alternate occasions. Then we could also like do it on some weekdays and then have some on the weeknights. That would probably be good. Like a mixture, kind of like what we've been doing with Bear and Breakfast. God, there's like a lot on my plate and not enough time to actually stream. I just realized that. So yeah, we might do that. Day one launch. You know what? Let's day one launch no matter what then. I like how this became like opinion 2, like, you know, we're just gonna do what I want now. Day one launch we're doing without a doubt. I'll be sure to have it downloaded by then. I like have it download during work, so that would be good. Yeah, Call the Lamb. Waiting for this for quite some time. And like, I'm sure everyone knows my massive support that I tend to give to Massive Monster, so I've appreciated their work in the past, and I will continue to appreciate their work. Why do I always do this sideways? I think it's just because the way I like sit, or the way I do stuff during stream on Art Tablet. Actually get like a general idea. We have limited room in which we could actually do something, so like I guess like this is the max room we can really utilize. We only have as much room as there is for VS. I gotta remember that. Yeah, day one release and then we'll see from there. I do want to get some speedrun stuff in, so I will see where we can fit some speedrun stuff in. Probably on the weekend then, since I will have more time to do stuff than I do on the weekdays. Also, other fries, if you're still here, how are you doing? Very, very interesting to see you pop up. You just mentioned you're back from your trip. I thought you were going to be back. I thought you were arriving back today and then be available tomorrow. But yeah. Watch all of Lord of the Rings and seven of the 8 Harry Potter movies. Was that during the entire... Wait, what? I'm trying to compute like how much... Because I know the average. I'm trying to compute like when you watched all that, because I'm doing the math and those are really long. If you chose the and if you were watching Lord of the Rings and the extended edition, which I feel like is the only version, that's like. That alone is 12 hours, and then Harry Potter is another chunk. Another chunk of several hours. Glad you're good. like a good fire. It's a decent fire. Let me actually get rid of this part so I can actually, you know, continue to tell that it is fire. It's about 11 hours for Lord of the Rings and 20 for all Harry Potter. Quality vacation time. I mean, sounds like quality vacation time. Absolute relaxation and all that. It's like the best. Just being able to chill and all that. Peaceful relaxation. I mean, that's sometimes what all you need is part of vacation too. Because like going on a trip is good, and then just like having just nice, relaxing, like recovering time is good as well. Sure. Good enough. I should. This is the actual sprite. This is just concept. I don't know why I'm focusing too much on it. I just gotta look good. That's the problem. Okay, good enough. Okay. Yeah, we have two concepts, which is well. Okay, so we got the two Death Store pieces right there. Equally, they could like match each other in some regard. I mean, we can trim up. Ideally, you'd end up trimming a bit of this because you couldn't make it as long as I just did. So the question comes down. Like, would these be good representations for VS? Or only will one make the cut and we like morph it into something else? So I have an idea on how this would be laid out for VS. So let me actually get some representations for that. Import. Thank you. I blanked out on that for a second. Dash. Skins, sprites. Night. No, it's not night. It is fireball. Bull. We got bull. We got fireball. We got sprites. Ball and ball blast ball. That's just regular one. Wait, does it have a separate shade? Spells animation. Ball. That's still the same thing. Ball level 2. Ball level 2. Ball of wait. Hold on. Okay. Same size, by the way. All right, so, you know, this was, I didn't realize this. Okay, so, posing question for everyone. I have an idea in my head of how this will essentially work. or at least I've had an idea for quite a while. In terms of which goes to what, so level 1. Okay, so you have a choice between you have Bell's Bomb and Fire Spell. Supposing we make those both VS, one of them being the base Fireball, which is the level 1, and the other being the upgraded version, which would be level 2. Question to you all. If you were to play the game and you just saw these, like if you just saw the Bomb Spell and the Fire Spell, you didn't know which was level 1 and which one was level 2. What would you say is level 1 and what would you say is level 2? So what would you say is VS? I have an idea what VS will be, especially now that I re-saw the sprites. But yeah, just taking reading the room if that would be the case, just by design alone. This actually might be like a unanimous decision if I'm thinking this through. But yeah, which would be level 1? Which of these would be level 1? So just as like a quick thing, I'm gonna be right back. I need to quickly take care of something. I don't have a BRB thing up, so add existing BRB. That's not BRB, but you know what? That is chat's assignment for right now. It's just letting me know which one fits where, in your opinion, without knowing, without having any indication that it's either upgraded or not upgraded. Like never seeing the pickups. You just flat out just see it fired. You just see 2 instances of it fired in Dirtmouth. And you need to determine which one's which. I have an idea in my head, so, but I will see what everyone else thinks. Again, be right back. I gave chat homework and no one turned in their into homework. No, I'm kidding. It's fine. All right, so concept-wise, if we were to go with this, especially now seeing the actual hitbox sizes, or at least the asset or the sprite cut sizes, if we were to actually go with what would be where, we would go on this double fire or this, what's it called? VS kind of situation. If we were to utilize these for VS, bomb would equal VS. Fire spell would equal Shade Soul. That's what I'm determining. Especially with fire, there's more room to actually have the wisps and the tail, and oh my god, I never noticed that how much detail is actually in the VS sprite. I never noticed. I thought it was just all solid black. Not the case. It is lighter in the center, solid black at the tendrils, tail, and like the aspect right there, if it's pulling, is of a gradient there, and some aspects there is pulling. Never really thought of that. Never really saw that before. But if we were determined based on that, that would be the lineup. In terms of coloration, I mean, it's very limited, I guess, in some way, to what the colors could be. They are. So, we'll just do a quick mock. It'd be pretty much that in a nutshell for the bomb spell. There's not much to it. Like, simultaneously a good thing and an unfortunate thing. There isn't much to utilize. Fire, though. I need more of a golden part. Same thing with that, pretty much. Do for we'll do the enclose. We'll do enclose on a different layer. There we go. Where is the color I'm looking for? Or the tool? There's the tool. Gotta stop doing that. As good as it's gonna be. Glass. Oh no, I did something on the wrong layer. No, I did something on the wrong layer. Okay, we'll ignore that. Would we be able to offhand tell? Something else I can do. For an overlay over everything. Duration. Eraser, whoops. Okay, that's the problem. That's a problem. That's going to be an issue. Hey, Rhea. It's going alright. How are you? Yeah, that's going to be an issue. I can't tell the color differences apart. I can't tell the shade differences apart. That's an issue. Yeah, that's not gonna be good. The reason why that is a problem is because there needs to be several factors that, like, if we are going to make this, or if we're going to try to get both of these as VS, because we're very limited on what we can do, and then we'll have to be very careful about, like, yeah, we need to be careful, and we need to be able to help determine what's what. Okay, I didn't mean to get that neon effect. Did I also do this on the wrong layer? Let's remove everything. Contemplating going to sleep early, but never really ended up sleeping when you do that. Oh. Probably because your body isn't used to it. It's like it knows it can be up for a little bit longer. Well, hopefully some chill vibes can help soothe and also just make one start to feel sleepy. But other than that, just nothing much. Or is it just pretty chill right now? We're currently just trying to like figure out like a good, trying to figure out like a good way to tell some of this stuff apart. Too dark. Yeah, I was afraid of this being an issue. So I really don't want the differences between the upgradable VS to be just design, but it might be that case. if we're going with the concept of bomb spell first, fire spell second, it might have to be that. Why did it have to be yellow fire? Why couldn't it have been, I don't know, purple? Purple works great. Why couldn't it have been purple? Or purplish pink. There's like an actual good color somewhere in here. I think it was in the pinks. Yeah, it was in the pinks. Yeah, there's a difference in that. Why couldn't it have been pink fire or something along those lines? Okay. So, alright, with that in mind, we'll see what we can do to try to get like a little bit more of an orange, a little bit more of that yellow orange, and maybe like find a way to get like the bomb to be a little more like solid blue. Like that blue. Still can't tell the difference. There's a like, it's lighter, but still. And that makes it the same. Okay. Well, we'll leave that now. That's generally what we're going to go for that. Now, there comes upon the other stuff that needs to be thought of. So there are still another 4 spells. Not what I wanted. There's still another 4 spells. Technically 4 different types, but technically also just 2. So we have Howling Rates, which might be free game. Because Death's Door doesn't have any type of spell or attack that goes vertically up. So it feels like we can be creative with that one to some degree. So let me bring up the old Howling Rates in the Bishreek, just so we can have examples of what there is. No animation. Wave. No. It's all the same. Quake Blast. No. Where is it? Should be under here somewhere. Dream Nail Charge, Shade Quake, Wet Wave, Sharp Shadow Impact, DG. Dream Gate. Scream. So, example, here's howling rates. Scream. Wait, what's the base? Base is just how it forms up. That's something we might have to consider. Group 2 is that. So I know it actually comes out a little bit bigger for, I believe, for how Abyss Shriek, but that is what there is. Okay, so we can see some of the differences between them. Similar aspects. There's a whole lot more happening. Without a doubt. And the color stuff is different. Hey, Ami. Been a while. Good to see you. It's going well. How are you doing? Oh, right. I can't saturize that. Let me quickly just dump everything on here. Sorry, we're just good. I just need to see something. Saturation. Yeah, there's a difference. It's a very noticeable difference. And right now we're just trying to get some trying to get some concept done. Yeah, been off Twitch for a month or so, doing well. Glad you're doing well though. That's honestly the important part that I want to make sure of, is that you're doing well. I'm doing well myself. Right now we're just trying to what's it called? Come up with some concepts, since we're working on the Birb Knight skin. Yeah, we're making a Death Store HK skin. We already got some things done, or at least we got some things made. Let me bring up Sprite Packer. There's a lot of base things that we have already done. Loading, there it is. Like we got a little idle animation and all that. We've been working through just some of the basic stuff. That way we can get at least some base stuff solid, get an atlas for it, see how it works in game, and then make adjustments from there. Yeah, we're making our way through. Thank you so much for the compliment. Like, we need to learn dash, which is its own mess because it's a roll technically. The slashes actually are very nice. The slashes are absolutely beautiful. Look down and all that stuff. Like, we're making our way through just to get some basic stuff done, and then we'll have and then it'll be like playing, just like doing some rando and playing, see how it looks, see how it functions, getting notes back on it, adjusting anything that needs be, and then continuing to move forward and continue testing and building things out. There's a lot to do still. But this week I am taking a moment to consider I'm trying to come up with the concepts or translations from Death Store spells to into what's it called? Hollow Knight, you know that game. Hollow Knight, that's the game. Hollow Knight spells. Look down, being sideways toe, so smart, good one. Thank you. Yeah, I've always noticed that Birbs like tilt their head, especially in Death's Door. If you actually sit on an idle animation long enough, you'll see the bird like tilt their head and like move it, looking at something. So sorry to incorporate that. I'm like struggling a little bit with the look up, but it would be fine. Yeah, because they can't rotate their eyeballs, so they tilt where they look. Yeah, just like, yeah, it's such a small little detail that makes such a difference. They do be Birb. Yeah, happy you noticed that. It's a very small detail for a function that's probably won't be used too often in like randos, but it like every little detail matters, because you never know when someone's gonna like see something and yeah, like it. Yeah, we're trying to translate stuff right now. Because with that's the differences between Death's Door and Hollow Knight become greater and greater as we explore more and more. Mostly that there's a lot of things that HK has, of course, that Death's Door doesn't. I was watching ornithology videos or ornithology earlier, so your brain's just primed to scrutinize bird representations now. Perfect timing then. You've come to the stream where we're making art of a burb. Art for burb stuff. Timing couldn't have been any better. Yeah. So like one of the things we're trying to break down right now. So Death's Door has 4 spells in total. Doesn't list all of them, but it has fire, it has an arrow which you can shoot, has bomb, and then it has a hookshot dealie. Hookshot dealie, I'm gonna try to make some sort of representation through C-Dash. So that will be covered, and also won't be a headache in itself trying to figure out how can I do a hookshot thing and like have no movement or anything afterwards. Arrow, like the rest of the 3 are possibilities just for VS and Shade Soul, because everything, there's no upward, it's just all horizontal attacks. So like left, right, pretty much. I know it's like isometric rules pretty much, so it's just like level to the ground. Like all the stuff moves across the ground at the same height. The topmost point of a spell stays at the exact same height all the way through. So we're trying to just like get things through, and also keep in mind some of the limitations that Hollow Knight is providing in this case, such as like maybe, I don't know for certain, but there may be animations that are repeated twice. So for VS and for Shade Soul might do this. The Knight will do the same animation. I need to confirm it, but generally I wouldn't be surprised, because I mean, save the frames, literally. Save yourself from literally doing extra frames when making a game. So we can't. So it makes bow and arrow very difficult if we want to do a single thing. So no reason to do extra work you don't want to do. Yeah, indeed. Like general practice for like animation and definitely like sprite animation. It's like if you can reuse the same asset, where you can. Save the extra time of just trying to like get that stuff together. It's kind of like the left and right situation. They're the exact same sprite, just flipped. Just completely flipped on its side. Same thing, both sides. I forget, like walk and run, all that, same thing. Slash, all that left, it's the exact same. No differences, just flipped. But we need to be considerate about, if it's reusing the same thing, we can't really use bow, because that requires us to draw a bow for the arrow, even if the bow is completely made out of magic. We still, if we do the Knight animation for holding a bow, it will only hold the bow. That presents a problem with arrow. So we're determining that VS is 2 of the spells, which are bomb and fire. At least that's what I'm going with right now. Bomb will be representative of VS, or the base spell. Fire will be representative of Shade Soul, the upgrade. Bomb, fairly simple and very small, so it fits in the hitbox and is not really too exciting. Fire spell will have more detail to it, can be longer, as I've apparently just found out how massive Shade Soul is. I guess when you're seeing it fly past the screen, you really don't think about how long it is in comparison to VS, especially since it's one or the other. But that's what we're probably going to go with. And the key factor to determining which is what will be down to the design. which I was not really looking forward to being like a factor, because no matter, like, the thing with the VS, it's so good because like one's white, one's black, one's void, one's soul. It's like saturation, they're the complete opposite of each other. So it's easy to tell them apart. It's one of the factors to tell them apart. Other than the design and being well tentacly and whatnot for for Shade Soul, and bigger and wider and longer and all that stuff. So like design and color are like really good there. Here, this is a bit of a problem. We can only go off of design because they come out to the same shade if we do comparison. So might have to come down to design. I really never want it to come down to that, but that might be the case. So that's what I'm going with for time being. This is just concept stuff we're trying to get through, just concept ideas. So of course subject to change as time goes on. We still got like 200 sections of the night sprites we would need to go through anyway, so I mean, if you're not rendering it monotone, it wouldn't be a problem, I assume, unless you're misunderstanding. Okay, yeah, I probably am not explaining that too well. Yeah, like if it's not rendering in monotone, then it's fine. It's a bit of a case of more like if it does look monotone, if it does look like the same, and if someone... Alright, turn it on light. Sorry, yeah, turn it on light. I shouldn't have reached that while I was in the middle of a sentence. Yeah, accessibility wise, like, not everyone will see it monotone, but some people might see it monotone. Like the colors might actually look the same, like I'm not too familiar with the many combinations when it comes to color blindness. I'm not too familiar with that stuff. That's something I actually do need to study up on a little bit more. If it's accessibility issue, can you just make higher contrast? No, it'd be one filter at the end of the entire sprite sheet, so you could hue shift it. It might be a case just like upping the hue and the contrast of it. What the heck was that? Okay, I guess someone's car sounded like the equivalent of a weed eater, which is a terrible sound for a car to make, if I'm going to be honest. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, I guess we could shift it, which would make it a little bit nicer. Hold on, sorry. I now just got a message. Yeah. I'll probably play around with that a little bit more then. I want to still stay fairly close to what is done in DD, but we can adjust it a little bit so that they're further apart. I mean, they're already pretty far apart. They're close to being those contrasts. Not there, but they're close. Let me just check my reference real quick. Yeah, an equivalent of complementary. They're fairly close. Could do that. That would probably make things better. Yeah, and then hue, just one gets bright. One is a little bit brighter and the other is a little bit yeah. colorblind. Oh, this is a good reference. Ami, thank you so much for this reference. This is a fantastic reference. Thank you so much for this. This will be good, like, stuff to, like, look into. Because, yeah, I'm fortunate, so I don't know what it, like, looks like. Maybe I do, I just never really come across something that actually noticed. Try one better. All of this is very helpful. Oh, well, that's going on. I'm trying to think. Real quick. Yeah. Because with that, I hopefully be able to help tell the differences. Again, like, I think the design will definitely, like, carry quite a bit, but if we can do as much as possible. Because I remember a couple months back we were talking about accessibility, and visual accessibility, and why the default HK is so great, and quite a few people noted how difficult it is. I think it might be design-wise, mostly just like visual design-wise. Like there's not much interest between or differences between some of the stuff. How some skins you couldn't tell if it was VS or if you couldn't tell if it was shade, so you'd have to look in the menu, and like that was always something on my mind, but it definitely made me more conscious. I can't speak certain words today for some reason. Like visual. Oh no, I can actually say visual now. Cool. I was struggling with the word visual earlier. Visual representation. There we go. Yeah, I can actually say that. But yeah, we're trying to look at the differences. Like people noted that it's hard to tell the differences between that. And I hope the design that fire provides and bomb provides can carry that, especially how simple they can be. Again, I kind of wish that the fire was more in the pink section, like the pinkish purple section, because like that would be like, that's a good fire. Like where is it? Like this, like that could be a good fire. Like that would be a real good fire. Yeah. God. Like that's such a good fire color. Like this section makes really good fire. Green also makes good fire, but like purple feels like stronger for some reason. Green feels more corrupt kind of fire. Purple just feels stronger. But yeah, like there was, yeah, that stuff was talked about, so I've been super conscious about that. Ever more so. More and more. I'm trying to implement that stuff to make it easier. But it might be. The website allows you to put a stream URL so you're able to check for your ready. Oh, nice. You can also throw yours in there if you want. I might. Really quickly. There we go. Azure filter. Okay, cool. Oh my god, this will help a lot. Ooh, that comes out as pink. I love that. And then, yeah, it's just grayscale. Grayscale's the only one. The visually distinct across board seems, although the bomb looks white instead of blue for some reason. I think there's more. I think it's just because I put more like light effect than like the actual dark blue. It's the dark blue. like kind of in there. Let me drill down to the pixel. Oh wait, hold on. There's a streak. Streak might be enough. Oh yeah, that's far better. It's a far better color. And then the white. Give me that. Yeah, it just might be because the white takes over a whole lot. Stick on that for a little bit. Yeah, this is a really good cool. Ami, thank you so much for this. This is like a really cool aspect. Yeah, visually distinct. It's pretty visually distinct across the board, which is good to see. With the only, of course, difference being grayscale, and I think that's just the one I place like the toughest ideas on, or like I know that's like is like a really large push, so I tend to go for like the most extremes or circumstance instead of the more common ones. But yeah, Ami, thank you so much for this for the URL to this tool. I need to save this. There you go. It's bookmarked forever. Good. I will refer to that probably for the rest of my life now. As long as that website exists, and so if the website continues to exist for decades upon decades, I'll continue to use it. Unless a better resource comes along, but that's already like strong competition. Yeah, that's actually good to see. So fairly good. Too bad that site doesn't have a referral code. I would so like put in a referral code and like, hey, yeah, Omni gave me that, give Omni special discounts and whatnot. Oh, that'd be so good. Get 1 month for free, all that kind of stuff. But okay, yeah, seems fairly good at least. I was worried. And then Ami came in to save the day. Gonna try Cult of the Lamb? Yes. I am gonna try Cult of the Lamb. I've always been a big fan of Massive Monster, since their first like studio game. I've also been fans of the actual developers for over a decade now, as I've found out a couple years ago. So yeah, I'm gonna try Cult of the Lamb, and we're gonna do it on stream. We're definitely doing some Thursday night, and we'll probably do some in the weekend too. Maybe Friday. We'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear. But yeah, definitely trying out Cult of the Lamb. I'm so happy that the developers like have found such a like great footing, and there's so many people that like absolutely love this game. Like some people who already played it love it, and like there's a lot of people who want to like play it as well. So I'm extremely happy for them. I'm extraordinarily happy for them to see this success. Demo was pretty fun. You're thinking, man, I hope there's another couple level seconds before. Thanks for playing the demo. Yeah. Oh yeah. They have. I'm sure they have plenty of ideas planned and all that. They're a creative bunch. They're good people too. They're really good people. Yeah. I'm so glad everyone loves it. It's so good. I haven't tried it myself. I'm looking forward to it. It's always fun. But yeah, we're gonna try it, and we're going to do it on stream, and we're going to have the Twitch integration enabled. So, yeah, You show up a day, and the Twitch integration goes and activates, and because if I remember correctly, Twitch integration pulls viewers, and puts them into, names them as one of the followers. So, yeah, lucky people are going to be part of the cult of the Lamb. Whatever happens to them happens to them. I'm not saying, like, whatever happens happens. And the fun part is that, like, okay, so the fun part about that is that everyone can be involved, and you have like the followers named after people that are watching the stream. Downside is if one of y'all in the game eats it somehow, like, it will be sad. Especially because I know there's a couple ways, like, there's a handful of ways to deal with the bodies. And it's not going to be good. There's one good way, which is proper burial, and then there's a bunch of other ways which are like, oh boy. Listen, if you show up and get indoctrinated into a cult, then probably disemboweled by a YP, survive a cult, it's not my fault. Yeah, and then I mean, still, it's up to fate. Like, yeah, you're like your follower character is dead. Do we give it a proper burial, or do we just chop you up and then throw you in the stew? Like, oh no. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun. We'll play it by ear and see how it goes. But I find that hilarious that they added that as a Twitch integration. So good. Yeah, I'm so proud of them. I sure hope there's a sky barrier option. We'll see. We shall see. There's definitely a sacrifice by tentacle situation. I've at least seen that in the trailers. It'll be fun. Be lots of fun. Looking forward to it. Yeah, and it's like a bit of a roguelike too, so that's interesting. It's an interesting turn. I wasn't expecting it to be a bit of a roguelike. Was not expecting that. Also makes me curious, like, you know, yeah, no, it just makes me curious. Like, was Never Give Up that frustrating? It was Never Give Up frustrating that they just like said like, yeah, cool. Yeah, we're just gonna, yeah, next game, like, oh, you thought Never Give Up was rough. Actually, now that I think about it, hold on. Cult of the Lamb is kind of like, because there's like Massive Monster, like, as a studio has made 2 games that are fully out right now. That is the Adventure Pals, which is a very cute game. It's a platformer, but very cute. Extremely similar style to that of Cult of the Lamb. But I mean, of course, because it's the same art people are the ones making the art for Cult of the Lamb. Like, it's the three people that I know of. The 2 of them do quite a bit of art, and I know one is mainly programming. Still, like, I feel like there's just it's just that combination of like Adventure Palace, where it has that very cute art style and is also very cute, but that game is wholesome, and then Never Give Up, which is can be quite bloody and humorous, but yeah, in some cases like a little dark just because you die constantly and whatnot. But yeah, you wonder how long the runs will be. We'll see. Depends on like how the progression of the game goes, like what determines like what is the determining factor for like end game, like just the end of the game, like easiest ending to get to, not true ending or hundo or anything like that. Just like that. I guess it would just depend on their progression system. And and how things can progress. And I'm saying that because I'm actually familiar a bit with with speedrunning the previous games. Those games were a bit difficult to really skip things on. Adventure Pals, there was a glitch found that did allow some part, a fairly good chunk of a section to be skipped. But fairly for the most part, haven't really encountered too many instances where people are able to skip stuff. So we shall see. Whatever the progression system is, though I don't think it's a level progression system, like individual like level rooms kind of deal. And by that, like platformer sense, like you have the overworld and then you have a bunch of icons, and like one icon goes to like level 1, the other one goes to level 2, so on and so forth. Generally, that's how it's been done. This, I don't think it will be that. You know a little bit about, but keep it zipped. Keep it zipped. All right, yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for being considerate about that. Like I don't really mind, but it would definitely be like a good surprise to find things out. I haven't played the demo, by the way. I just know whatever encounters I've had with it, just either through trailers or stuff that I heard long ago in their Discord when they were talking about stuff. I remember when they were like getting stuff together, and it wasn't formally announced what the game was. They had a game. They were kind of showing it off at some expos, but no one really actually knew the name. Why did I choose that? That wasn't what I wanted. I was a bit surprised that it's a roguelike with some of the systems they chose, though. Makes you real curious. Yeah, no, it was real curious. Like when I found out it was a roguelike too, it was a real surprise. When I heard that it was a roguelike, that surprised me as well. Because some of the aspects, like the aspects of like maintaining the cult base and the farm and all that stuff, those ideas had been there for a while, and I knew about those ideas for ever since they were like coming up with ideas, but I certainly didn't know the direction they were going to take with adding the roguelike element to it. It'll make it interesting. I mean, from what I've seen so far, a lot of people already love it. From whatever streamers got like early access, like I think they've been having a lot of fun from what I've heard. Sorry, I'm just looking for something. Okay, interesting. This is broken up into many different things. Sorry, I'm just like looking at the what's it called? I'm looking at the dives. Dive stuff for Hollow Knight. Dive is a little bit more interesting than I ever thought. It's broken up. Like dive is fairly simple. Like just basic dive is fairly simple. Because there's some aspects to it, and then it's literally just the blast, which is literally that. This is the blast for the base of that. Base of what's it called? Dive. However, I think that's also for somewhat the same for or at least it does that in addition to this. That's dive. Top is the shrieks. Bottoms are for the dives. Take that any way you want. No, don't take that out of context. Yeah. Yeah, no, in terms of dive and that, dive is fairly basic. I wonder for dive. So dive is pretty basic. You go down Superman style, except you're going down instead of up and away and sideways or anything like that. Whatever way you normally fly. You're just going straight down. You're punching the ground, essentially. So what we can do with that, they're fairly similar in some regard, but I have a feeling we can add like flair to them to make them interesting. They don't have to be void. To make them something definitely more interesting. This is the part where we have a little more freedom to create some stuff for Death's Door protagonist. We have some freedoms we can do. Like Shriek and Howling Wraiths, absolute freedom because nothing goes up really. So like there's absolute freedom to do whatever we want for those. For dive, what I was thinking, there is an animation in Death's Door. I don't have anything on me. I don't have any extra visuals, but you have the crow. You have the burb. You have burb. You have burb. Simple burb. You have burb. One of the attacks in Death's Door is a straight down attack that you use to attack like the sewer covers, manhole covers, Lord of Door hole covers. I don't know. I don't know what they're called. Sewer covers. And you do a charging attack with your sword. Sword. You do a charging attack with the sword. And it goes down, essentially. So you're going down that way. Yeah, exactly what you think, great minds and all that, exactly. Yeah, so we can utilize that attack, because it doesn't make sense to make that a down slash. It doesn't, because it's not slash, it's a pierce. Dive is also a pierce, so that makes things like even better. And also dive breaks ground objects. The sword pierce literally pierces through objects to get underground, so we could do that. Essentially goes down, like really pushing the sword down, whatever animation. I'll definitely get reference shots for that because I'll need the pose. Goes down. For basic, what we can do is just like simple clouds. Like you go down, you hit the floor, impact spot. Let me adjust some things real quick. So go down. Also, yeah, I'm definitely making things sideways, just probably because the way have everything set up. So you go down. You go down. Hit the ground. Impact spot. What we could do for that is for basic one, because all you need is going across with limited space, like clouds kind of situation, like clouds being brought up. Like dust or something like that. That way, like, we can make it like a lighter gray situation without having to worry about too much. Key, hello, welcome on in. How you doing? What were you up to in Death's Door? Hey, MJG. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Hope everyone is well. We are doing some concept thinking for the custom night skin for Death's Door. Let me rephrase that. We are doing a Death's Door concept skin for Hollow Knight, and we're doing a custom night skin. It's based off the Death's Door protagonist, and we're coming up with concepts. There we go. Third time's a charm. Hundo D-Rest wasn't pretty, but wasn't awful. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that. As long you made it through, it may have not been the best, it may not have been great, but you made it through, and hopefully some of the rust was taken off. Saw Birb Knight and had to jump in. Jefferson inspired Shriek. There's a lot of Shriek potential. I actually need to note that because I didn't. I haven't started really working too much on like the Shrieks. We're just like breaking down, like we just finished breaking down VS and Shade Soul, and just like I deliberated for so long on whether that was good, and thanks to Ami, we were able to solidify that was good. Jefferson inspired Shriek. Let me actually note that. If it's misspelled, I don't care. It is misspelled. I do care all of a sudden. Would be great. Yeah, there's a number of ideas that I had. Let me just note them now. What was the final one? Oh yeah. You like bomb being tier 1 and fire being 2 because it's opposite from DD, but fitting. Yeah, it is opposite from DD, which is quite unfortunate. Like, we all know this is the more powerful. We know bomb is the more powerful of the spells because it actually destroys walls. And fire just lights things on fire, and then depending on what upgrade, lights more things on fire. But in terms of design wise, it ends up working this way. Bomb is surprisingly simple. Bomb is very simple, and fire is very complex. So it but fire does pierce in DD. Yeah, it does pierce in DD. So, I didn't realize that until now. I knew Shade Soul pierces. I knew fire pierces and can hit multiple targets, but for some reason I didn't connect those dots. I was going off of design, purely design that's more complex. Second time you see me stumble into a good choice this stream. Hey, I mean, there must be, hey, my brain, like, whatever front part of my brain that does the thinking is like doing like the bare minimum, but whatever my subconscious or the back of my brain that I'm not getting is probably pulling all the strings and I just don't know it, and it's working. It was totally intentional. We'll keep that your secret. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, no criticism. Yeah, the Trace said I'm good as well. Just more funny how it works out for you. Yeah, no, it's just funny as well. I agree. It's just funny how it works out. Can you edit False Night in the smoke? Oh, technically you can. Technically you can. Oh no. The reason why I'm going oh no is because I also have to do an edit to the Hollow Knight. The Hollow Knight, I determined a while ago, if we were to edit it and change it up, that would be the Lord of Doors. The Hollow Knight would change. THK would become LOD. And the acronym works too. Yeah, THK to LOD. Yeah, Lord of Doors has some stuff that can work fairly well. Mostly just the weird pillar thing that they do. Radiance Jefferson would also be incredible. But Jefferson's our friend. Jefferson is our friend. We could change the Radiance to the Water Spirit. We could, because they're both squids. We could change it there. God, imagine if we could edit the sound too. I'm not sure if we could even edit the sound. But editing the sound so there's just the gurgles. And the gurgles have even more like specialness to them ever since Acid Nerve revealed how they made the noises. By the way, if you're not part of this or Discord, so there's an ask developer QA section, which they'll occasionally answer when there are questions. One of them was in regards to the gurgling for when the noodles are eaten. Turns out they actually were eating noodles and recorded the sounds off that and added some like additional gurgling filters and whatnot. But yeah, the video is golden. Yeah, they even posted a video of it. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so good. Imagine if all of his siblings were Jefferson. Oh my god, so many Jeffersons. Jefferson for days. I feel like Jefferson would definitely make a good companion, but don't know of like a good... I have an idea. Did I have any ideas for that particular companion? No, I did not. I think I was... No, I didn't have any ideas for that companion. What if we replace Grimchild with Jefferson? What if Jefferson just can suddenly... just suddenly flap everywhere? I don't think it would work too well. It would look quite weird, but... God. Jefferson with... Oh, me. Genius. Genius, everyone. On me. Genius. Genius right there. We have a genius in chat. Don't know what's going on for all of ideas. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's... Let me actually note that. Well, I need to make a notes section. As a notes section, I mean just placing notes wherever the heck I want. This is a concept thing, by the way. We're like doing a concept session, by the way, too. So anything goes in all technicality. Dan, how you doing? Sorry, I didn't say hi earlier. I was just caught up in so much. But yeah, Dan, how you doing? Sorry about not catching up earlier. True to character. Jefferson Fluke wouldn't be too bad either. Jefferson Fluke is also not another possibility. Or it could just be like tentacle arms too. Grey Crow Murderlings would do well for Flukes or for the Minion Charm. Yeah, for the I'm forgetting what they're called. For the Glowing Womb Charm, that was an idea, was making the little crow murderlings, like the Grey Crow Murderlings that show up and pop out, the wisps, turning those into the minions for Glowing Womb, because they pop out of Grey Crow, so why not pop out of the protagonist, and then they shoot and self-destruct upon their enemies, which would be the crow in that case. Like, they actually home in on you too, so yeah, that is actually an idea I've had and I've gotten references for, so that is a high possibility that will be a thing. No worries. Grey Crow Grim causes he could break into tiny crows instead of bats. Oh, that'd be hilarious. Not great and not great. You have sickness and your brain is melting through your nose. Oh no. Ego was in here earlier. Ego is a bit sick as well. I know so many people that are sick right now, and I hope you feel better. I mean, I think that was just, why'd you say it twice? Because you wanted to emphasize the fact that it was not great. I took it as the fact that it was like not great and not great. Like, it was just like double, like, ugh. And I can see why. Proof your brain is melting. Grey Crow Murderlings would be adorable. Yeah. Yeah, having them like attack, because they can home in and they can like self-destruct and they pop out of you, so it works quite well. Yeah, feel better, Dan. All right. You're always sick. You're always sick, Chiacha. Definitely a different type of sickness. The cool kind of, the type of sick where it's actually the cool type of sickness. That's the phrase. Yeah, basically have a stress sickness of some kind. Yeah, everyone seems to be sick all of a sudden. It's quite unfortunate. I've been hearing so many people get sick. Some people I knew why they got sick, and it's like, yeah, I kind of expected that. But a lot of other people I'm surprised are getting sick too. You have the quarantine kind of sickness. Yeah, I know a couple other people that have that type of sickness too. I hope you feel better. I know Garden has been like is starting to get the end of it, but still has a bit. I hope Garden's been resting quite well, and I hope you're resting quite well too. Sorry, I just need to like note this. So yeah, there's a lot of ideas we have, and luckily I'm happy there's a lot of things that do translate very well from Death's Door to Hollow Knight. Yeah, like the murderlings translate well, the roll translates well. There's a lot of good things that translate well. The thing we have the most free game on, of course, is VS. VS is like a huge open opportunity where we could do whatever we want, because there is no ties or anything to any upward attack, at least that I can remember in Death's Door. There's no ties of an upward attack. Hookshot C-dash, yep, that was the idea for that I was having for C-dash, was going to be a reference to hookshot. The crystals will be the little anchors. I think I have to slightly modify the anchors in order to actually fit in the hitboxes of the crystal, but essentially being that. And then some kind of visual representation with the chain and whatnot to show that it is hookshot. I feel like the one spell we are lacking on, unfortunately, is the arrow usage. But I honestly don't know. That might just be a thing we cut, or it's something we managed to find something in some use. Or it could be thorns, now that I think about it. We could just have... I was thinking thorns as if they shoot out projectiles. I am thinking of that wrong. Because thorns shoots out thorns, like tentacles. Why not just have everything tentacles? Yeah, you're saying VS and you were confused. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, no. Sorry, I've been just mixing up. The spells are starting to blend together, which is getting confusing. Okay, so arrows will have to be something that shoots some sort of projectile that, like, we can, like, make association to that, and it would be red, so I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of charms. Then again, I can't think of any charms outside of the normal ones I use, which are pretty limited to strength and shaman. Everything else I tend to forget, except shield, except dream shield. Dream shield might be a pot lid as a representation. We might do that for the shield. It's just a pot, is pothead's pot lid. Essentially, and we'll have like a little bit of a soup stain on it and whatnot. That's what I was thinking for that. But yeah, wraiths slash shriek. We'll just say shriek for easy sake. Shriek has a lot of potential. There's no ties or anything in Death's Door to an upward attack. Or at least I can remember. Or Boulder Shell. That's also a opportunity. Yeah, Boulder Shell doesn't really have any connections either. Boulder Shell will have to think on. Oh yeah, Boulder Shell. That could also Boulder Shell in a pot. Yeah, Boulder Shell in some sort of pot or something like that is also an option. But yeah, Shriek's open game, so we can think of anything. Like already mentioned, Jefferson type of Shriek. Other ideas I had: Grey Crow Shriek, like Grey Crow actually screaming, kind of like they do in the beginning of the boss fight. And Truth Streak, which I don't know too much about that. Need to get back to work, but it was fun catching you. Omni, it was an absolute pleasure for you to stop by. It was so good seeing you, and thank you again for the website and all that. I hope work goes well, and I hope you have a comfy time. You have to dip too, but sadly, but you love this. All right, Keith. Yeah, you take care. I know you just did a Honda run, so probably tired and need to attend to other things. Understandable. Yeah, both of y'all have a wonderful night. Stay comfy, get well rested, and all that. Narration reading. Have a nice night, Omni. Was good having you here. Swag, skirt, skirt. Dive ground pound is great, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, we're looking into how to make it really work. With the upgraded version, has potential to make it even better too. So strange how there's nothing similar to Upward Shriek in isometric game. Who'd have think? Yeah, there's no upward attack for an isometric game. Why don't they create that? Don't they know the potential they're missing? Bed equals other things. Yeah, I figured bed. It's late for a lot of people. Might be unbound later if you get finished on time. Have a nice night. All right, Ami, have a nice one. Yeah, comfy time. Yeah, I know it's getting late for people. We'll see how much longer we'll go with this too. Because it will progressively start to get late, and then I'll probably like start to get tired as well and want to take care of some like streamer homework and just homework that I need to catch up on. But yeah, oh, not sure if this is doable, but roll equals dash slash can be roll slash. Yep, we already have glad you brought that up, Key. We have already started mapping, what's it called? Where the heck is Sprite Packer? There we go. We've already started to map out some of the animation effects of dash. The this is so far what we mapped out because we're having to do build from the ground up because I really don't have too many role references. But essentially, we will be doing the roll, and the roll slash will be the dash slash. Yeah, it will be. It is super doable. It is super doable. So we'll be doing that. It will work out quite greatly, especially since dash slash has a similar has an arc which we can like pretend is the same arc as the roll slash. So yeah, we're getting that up. We got a lot of things. Airborne, that's easy. Just literally, I need to take a small reference video of just the crow falling. I just need to grab that from one of my runs. Yeah, we already got the slash effects and everything. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. But there's a lot. There's a lot of, I don't know why that one's so borked. Yeah, we're gonna get more and more. It's just the spells certainly have been a concept in which I've not really explored. Yeah, slash effect was so satisfying. I'm like so proud of the slash effect. It's so good. Do slashes change depending on nail strength? I don't think the slashes change. If they did, be cool. Coincide with weapons. Yeah, it would be cool. I don't think they change though. There is a slash and a slash alt, but it is for slash alt is when you swing a second time. I believe, like if you do quick succession, like you swing from up down, then from down up. So if it's like the quick, like da 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 da. So I don't think it's really associated tied to that. Unfortunately, that would be cool. Yeah, if colors did coincide, yellow, red, blue, purple. Yeah, it'd be perfect. HK is simultaneously very broad in what it has and very limited in what it has. It's this weird instance where there's a lot and then there's not a lot, or there's a lot and then there's not a lot you can do, which is one of the challenges with this, is that we have to also make sure that we are within the red hitboxes, which are the cutting points for a atlas. In Unity, I know there are points at which a sprite is cut, and anything outside that is not included in the sprite. So yeah, ground pound for dive and thunderhammer for D-Dark. Oh, I have never seen the thunderhammer in action. Oddly enough, I've never seen that in action. You need to sleep, but this is so much fun. No worries, Key. Like, no worries. Like, bed is important. Like, this is exciting. Don't worry. This is concept art. This is concept thinking. We can continue on this, like, as much as we do so desire in like other nights. It's all good. But I understand there being like so much fun. Yeah. Let me quickly note that. Check out Thunderhammer. Check. Yeah, I have never seen the Thunderhammer in action. I've only seen the basic sword and the daggers. But I've only seen the daggers in the instances they can do in glitches, as well as for taking down grandma before you even taking down grandma in like the first possible instance you can. Those are the only times I've really seen the daggers in use. But I have not really seen any other weapon in use, so I'll need to check that out, see what they do. Yeah, because I was wondering about how can we show and make D-Dark, how can we show the power of D-Dark? How can we show everyone that there is such power and that this is the upgraded version of Dive? Because that's some of the consideration that I definitely want to keep going, which is why the very basic bomb is the very basic design, which is very basic for VS, And then the fire is more complex, which goes for the more complex shade soul, or slightly more complex. Same thing with wraiths. I mean, wraiths are fairly close in design. Maybe there's more screaming heads. We'll say that there's more heads that scream in pain, and also the variety of them. So more complex in design in that way. Dive is also that case. So if Thunderhammer does a really cool effect, or does an effect that's very like that shows the complexity and the details, Shriek is also much bigger. Yeah, I think Shriek is actually these are, for some reason, the sprites are the same size. Like the actual sprite files, they're the same size. Well, I think what's going on is that they're designed exactly the same, but they have it in Unity where they have upped the scale of the asset itself. So the effect, the asset that triggers, I think they upped the size of it. So instead of like it being a 1-to-1 with the actual sprite, I think it's like a 1-to-1.5 or something along those lines. Like I think that's an actual setting they tweaked in Unity. Because if these ended up the same size, or the same pixel size, then that's what's going on. Has little lightning streaks for every hit that do magic damage. Ooh, yeah, I'll have to check it out. If it gets, yeah, I'll like look at it. If it has some of the, like, I'm sure it's going to have some of the effects, and then we just translate those effects into something for like the pillar, or the, what do they call it in this? Hold on. They call it, oh yeah, they call it a mega. So that like launching point, which is like the thing that shoots up, pretty much the bloom, whatever you would like to call it. Apparently in the file it's called a mega. So, and the pillar is whatever follows you down when you're actually like charging down. So yeah, if it has like, yeah, I'll have to check it out, but like I imagine like can implement some of the cloud aspects, but then like lightning and whatnot, which would be cool because I've been wanting to play with like lightning type effects as of late. So like, yeah, you can still have the clouds, but maybe they're like a darker gray kind of clouds. Yeah, like darker gray, pretty much. And pretend those are darker gray, and then like lightning effects. In some regard. Let me make this a little more obvious about like what's happening, because it all like lines up the same width. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, if that's the kind of effect, then that could work. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, there could be something with soul, but there's not much implements of soul being much of a, I mean, no, I was going to say there's not much implements of soul being a weapon, but soul is used, or has a bit of that weaponist aspect because of Lord of Doors. So I'd have to look at Soul Jars and Sanctum. Ooh, yeah, Soul Jars and Sanctum. Wait, hold on, sorry, I suddenly just confused myself, because I know, like, Soul Jars and Sanctum, yeah. I'm now lost. Oh, I think I'm just confusing myself. Coral Pothead would be fun too. Oh. Don't tempt me with another edit. There are Coral. There are sprites for Coral. There's also sprites for Hornet. Oh, Hornet Blizzard is when Hornet saves you. Where is... It's under a cutscene, isn't it? Nope, it's not. Yeah, no. Oh yeah, there's an entire Coral sprite section. Oh my god, Coral Talk, Coral Idol, Shine Bot. Okay, that's one shining a weapon. That could be just like soup. There's Coral Scratching, Talk End, Shine Head, Spa Idol. Oh god. Yep. Why is Knight sit in this also? Oh, you sit with Coral. That's why. Yeah, it doesn't look like the attacks are here or they're implemented in somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah, cool combat thing too. Yeah. Oh god. We'll take it. You know what? We'll take it baby steps. We'll take it baby steps. We'll get the protagonist. We'll get Lord of Doors, THK. We'll do progress. We'll see. We'll like those are the solid ones, and then we have possible False Knight, and the possibility of Coral becoming Pothead. Oh boy. Take it baby steps. Version 1.0 will be protagonist at least. And we'll see from there. At that point, I just might start making my own game. and just call it like, I'm just making my own game. Just might as well. Already learning all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, if I wanna see like some more soul attack stuff, Lord of Doors will be the points. Though Lord of Doors has that weird pillar move, which we're going to utilize for THK, because they also have pillar move. The swipes, the soul jars coming out of doors, not really too strong. And then the explosion. And then laser beam. Of course, laser beam. There's also a laser beam. What if instead of one big laser beam, Lord of Doors just shoots out a bunch of mini laser beams? Like that's the attack for like the spit. Just shoots out a bunch of little laser beams. Hot friend. Oh, that's a Twitch global mode. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, the Thunder Hammer is what we got so far, because I'm not sure. I don't want to overuse things for certain aspects. I don't want to reuse unless like there's nothing else. Yeah, for like, yeah, I think that's like good concept stuff for now, or at least for D-Dive. Yeah, for Shriek. Shriek has a lot of potential. In the similar philosophy that they did for Spyro Reignited Trilogy, staying true to what is seen, like for level design, they were staying true to what was seen and what the player could interact with and experience. Anything the player wasn't able to see or wasn't able to really get to, they had free game to expand upon and make and add even more to it. Shriek is Shriek is our Spyro level design in that case. We do have the limits of like what we can see, which is the hitbox that we were given, but there's nothing in DD with anything even close to a Shriek. So other than Grey Crow actually literally shrieking, but that's not even an attack. That's just a signal for the attack they're about to do, if anything. But yeah, we got multiple decisions. We got Jefferson Shriek, Grey Crow Shriek, Truth Shriek. So Jefferson Shriek, I imagine, could be in the lines of like, so like you have, say that as your base. Again, we'll pretend that's the base. So like Jefferson Shriek would be, I guess, along the same lines as the spirit. Could be like the actual like I need a reference of Jefferson. I just realized I don't have a reference of Jefferson, and I'm going to like have no idea if I don't do something where. Hold on 1 second. Death Star Jefferson. Google, show me the way. Jefferson hints. I don't need hints. I just want cool times with Jefferson. Okay. Give me a good screenshot where I can see Jefferson. A lot of good crow art. But I need to see. Yes, that's the best I can see. I'm surprised there are no screenshots of the trip. I am surprised I can't find any screenshots of the trip. Weird. Well, I mean, if I want to grab screenshots of the trip, I know how to do that. That's the advantage of speedrunning. You know how to get to places, and chances are you have files in which you can do things to get references. So, if it were to be a Jefferson type Shriek, I imagine it would be somewhat on the lines of like, somewhat similar to the what's it called? To the spirit, to the waters, to the spirit that we visit. It's like an actual tip. Just gonna avoid that for now. Like guys. Can have like the tentacles like that. We're just pretending right now that there's something. Just basic quick sketch. But yeah, like the water spirit and whatnot, just like. Not angry eyes, it's just like grumpy eyes. Yeah, something along the lines of like the actual but we need more up. I don't know, like that kind of attack though kind of gives a sense. Something along those lines. I'm sure I can come up with something a little bit more like in the shape of stuff later, unless. TFT, hello! Welcome on in. How are things? What are we up to in Death Store? Welcome in everyone. We're currently working on an HK custom night skin, which tonight we're focusing on concepts and coming up with concepts for translating this to some spells in Hollow Knight. We got a lot already. We already got some things going with the Hollow Knight animation and whatnot, but one thing I haven't touched on was the concepts for some of the spells and how that translates. Hope the arting is well. Yeah, the arting is going well. Everyone's been very helpful with throwing some ideas for concepts and stuff, which has been really good. Especially because like more ideas the better. This is concepts as well. So like concepts are when like you throw all the ideas and like see what works and see what goes. You were doing some high strength route runs. Got Pearly Solid run, but no PB unfortunately. Missed the PB, but that's really good that you had a pretty solid run. It's always a good sign if you're able to carry a solid run through, because it just means more along the way. Yeah, I know there's the whole high strength and low strength now, so that's definitely providing some variables in what people can do. You've been doing low strength runs, so getting a solid high strength run is good. Oh yeah, because I imagine it's quite a different feel, having certain timings adjusted because you now have lower strength for some enemies. So suddenly that's like one hit extra for some. That could change up a rhythm quite a bit. Yeah, welcome on in. Yeah. Currently coming up with concepts for VS. Since there are no upward attacks for Death Store, it's pretty fair open game. The only limits that we have upon ourselves, of course, are being Death Store, like being related to Death Store, as well as being contained within a certain size for the sprite asset. Sprite asset is within a certain size, so we have to keep that in mind. Just to make sure. Going to quickly look to make sure that spell animation is good. Which one was it? It was Scream. Okay, it looks like Scream is relatively the same size, except for the initial and the last 2 frames, which is good. That's actually good to see. The crow doesn't have any upward attack. Yeah, the crow doesn't have upward attacks, so it's free game to how we represent Shriek. It's fairly open. Does any other enemy have some sort of upward attack? Something that could translate to a Shriek. Yeah, something that, of course, like, yeah, translates to a Shriek. I mean, there's like different aspects. Betty Snowball. I mean, it's there, but it doesn't feel like there could be something really. I guess one of the other requirements is that whatever ideas we have, it needs to evolve. Why do my E's look like C's? So it needs to, whatever we get needs to evolve. So it needs to go from that to that. It needs to show that there is a transition going from something simpler to something more complex. So like if we were to do a Jefferson streak, like big spirit Jefferson or squid would be in the level 2 section, because it would be a more complex streak and look and design and whatnot, especially if there's like a bunch of tentacles coming out and whatnot. So the thing we need to think about is the evolution. Could make it fireball. We are though already using fireball for Shade Soul, and bomb is going what we're conceptually or for concept wise, we are thinking of bomb being VS, fire spell being Shade Soul. So fireball has been used and I don't want to do it again, just because I know there's like a couple, because so far I can't find a spot for like the bow and arrow, but I'm sure there's going to be something. But for right now, as far as I can tell, it's cut for the most part up until I find like something that can like translate to an actual arrow, then we could utilize it there. Doesn't DD color code the attacks when you upgrade them? Yes. That only applies to the menu though. Visually everything remains the same. The arrow remains, like when you upgrade, everything remains the same except its function and a couple mechanics, but none of the visual, aside from this like menu section right here, upgrade. Of course, feel free to correct me, because I know there are sources that are more familiar with the game and have recently played it shorter than I have. Bow and arrow could be one of the nail arts. Could be. Just be a matter of which one though. Because we're also limited on that too. Because 2 of them are already taken up. Chart like the normal slash, great slash, and dash slash are already taken up by what would be a normal charge attack and then the rolling attack. So Cyclone would be a choice, but we'd have to be very careful because it's not going to be that far. Elegy could you that actually is a good, that's a good possible instance to use an arrow then, Dan. That's a good idea. Elegy could be arrow. Elegy could translate to an arrow attack. We'd have to make it fairly obvious we'd have to take some creative liberty with some stuff. Like instead of 1 arrow being fired, we'd fire say 3. That way we can show what the hitbox is of that way we could show what the hitbox is of the elegy attack being used, because if it's just 1 arrow, it's not going to be it's not going to give too good of precision to the player. So we'd have to take some creative liberty with that, which is fine. That kind of creative liberty is more than all right with me. But yeah, no, yeah, there really isn't anything visually that changes aside from the top right where your health and magic are. They start to color code. Bomb becomes blue instead of, like, they all are white at their base upgrade, but then bomb is blue, arrow is red, fire is yellowish orange, and then hookshot is green. Does elegy sprite change or just scale with nail length? Good question. I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to do some research in the sprites and see what there is. I'm not quite sure though. You could make Shriek Truth themed. That is one of the ideas I was having. We have 3 ideas for at least right now, we have three strong ideas for Shriek. We have Jefferson Shriek, which is part of this doodle right here, though I do think, because Shriek kind of goes, Shriek is in the shape of this, and Jefferson is in the shape of, well, this, or at least that attack is in the shape of that. So so Jefferson, we'd have to do some things to make Jefferson there. But yeah, oh yeah, no worries. I'm like super zoomed out right now, and my handwriting is atrocious. So like all good. Like this is like bad handwriting even for me. Actually, no, this is what my handwriting looks like when I don't connect anything. I barely lift up a pencil when I actually like write. Like it gets bad. Like I pretty much write in cursive if I like that's gray. That's gray. Like I start to write in cursive if I'm like trying to like scribble things down really fast. And yeah, no, this is just bad handwriting that is fairly clear clear enough for me to actually know what the heck I wrote down. All good though. All good if like something doesn't read out too well. But yeah, we got Jefferson Shriek, we got Grey Crow Shriek, and then we got Truth Shriek. Jefferson Shriek, we're just coming up with some ideas for, or at least trying to get some visual concepts going. I think I'll like definitely play with a little bit more. Grey Crow Shriek, and right now we're looking at level 2 right now. But I'll have to note some stuff for level 1. That way we can have that visual aspect that you can tell the difference between them. Maybe there's more detail, maybe it's the color difference. That will be determined. Whatever fits, and at the end of the day, it will be whatever fits the best. Like checks off a lot of things, but also just fits very well. Grey Crow Shriek. For Grey Crow Shriek, I was thinking, in terms of level 2, it would be the shriek that Grey Crow does at the what's it called? Just before the boss fight. So I can't even like do things right now. But yeah, it would be like the shriek with that and like, I don't know, maybe like wings. I know the wings don't go out, but like wings out or something like that. I don't know. Something that actually shows that it can make it bigger in some regard. And it will be more experiment. But like the actual shriek itself, for the Grey Crow Shriek, one of the aspects of level 2 would be it's more of a seal than an actual bird. But I'm not too picky right now. One of the aspects of level 2 would be the cracks and the wear that Grey Crow gets at the end of the fight, which, where is my example? I have an example of this because this was an idea. So Grey Crow Shriek. Oh, Grey Crow Shriek came in as a fill. Hold on. Or as an overlay of something real quick. So Grey Crow has that shriek, so it would be like that. And then I guess like, and then definitely for level 2, level 2 would have the cracks without a doubt. Like, it may not be Grey Crow shrieking for the first one, but without a doubt it would be a combination of these, the actual shriek itself and just covered with the cracks, the soul cracks pretty much, to signify, of course, usually like destruction and all that, and plus add some more visual flair to it. Make it more complex. But yeah, it would be a combination of these two. For that. For truth, we could utilize some of the aspects that is done during the cutscene with truth, where they're consuming the protagonist, or at least they're transferring the truth to the protagonist. And we could utilize the aspect that we get from at least the first possible instance, or at least one of the strongest instances I remember, is the fourth avarice, where you get the tablet piece. Because you get out of the box, normally do the thing where the crow comes out, but instead it's the giant like beam projector 3D image of the truth symbol and all that. So those could be aspects right there. All right, LD, enjoy the sleep. And thank you for the good luck. Have fun on the arts. Yeah, chat, keep being cute. Yeah, appreciate it, LD. Get a good night's sleep, all right? May you feel very refreshed in the morning. I'll catch you later. Yeah. Yeah, truth, it would have to be a bit of combination of like what goes on with Avarice 4 for that cutscene, in addition to maybe a little bit of that cutscene cutscene of Avarice 4 and a bit of the cutscene from the true ending, utilizing them both a little bit, combining them that way. There's that flair, that there's visual flair, and there's enough happening, because that's the thing we need to keep in mind. We need to make sure there's enough happening where you know what the hitbox is. Like, oh, the hitbox is this. We need to keep some visual aspect where you know this is the hitbox. Because if it is tiny, if it's small like this, then you will think that is the hitbox. And that is not the hitbox. The hitbox is everything else. And so it could cause people to, like, of course, misthink where they need to, like, attack, and misjudge distances. They feel like they'll have to be closer to enemy than they actually should be. So yeah, hitbox. We need to keep that in mind. So we need that space filled. It doesn't necessarily need to be just that. Like it could be like the full box, or it could curve that way, or in any way how it goes, but we need to make sure that spot is taken up. So I have a feeling that the actual collision boxes that might be set for Shriek might be more along the lines of that shape right there. That might be something I need to look into with the modding, the debug tool. That way I can see all the hitboxes and get an idea what the hitbox for Shrieks are. Whatever that space is, we'll have to fill. I'm sure there's a couple more ideas we could probably implement. Not sure at this moment. I guess it could be like boss soul shriek. What I mean by boss soul shriek is that you have the three big bosses, which would be Grandma, Frog King, Betty. And they are actively screaming out in the form of red, similar to how Shriek already is. Like that kind of screaming aspect, or like attacking, or in some kind of pose where they show their power there. That is a possible option. There's not much to it though. There isn't. Did my playlist stop? Yes, it did. No, it didn't, because it didn't load all the way. Of course it didn't. Yeah, things to keep in mind. There's a lot to keep in mind. But what I do have to admit is that we've definitely made some good idea progress so far. It would take a lot of filling and just sketching out some ideas and bringing them out the full. This has definitely been helpful because all of you have contributed quite a bit to some of the ideas and the confirmation of some of the ideas that we've had. It's been phenomenal. But sketching that stuff out will be critical, and then presenting and seeing which one fits the best. So we could have 4 different things, but one of them will fit better than the rest. One of them will feel better. And for some reason. Or one of them might work better, just need to tweak some stuff here and there. We'll be able to see it. But I'd say that's good progress for the night. Like, again, it was just like a full concept night that we were just running through stuff. Quite out of the ordinary of what we normally do, but concept work can be quite fun. And I thought it would be quite fun, especially since everyone was participating and throwing out ideas. But yeah, so gonna call it there. I'll continue to brainstorm and come up and sketch things out, along with all the other things that need to be done with the skin. There's so much that needs to be done with the skin, but it'll be a ton of fun. Already is a ton of fun. There will be more to it, which will be great. Alrighty. Who do we raid? I think I know. Let me quickly check. I see Mika is streaming Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which has a special place in my heart. I haven't played it in a long time, but I still remember it quite well. Yeah, no, thank you everyone for being here, chilling, vibing, just enjoying stuff. Been a ton of fun. It was quite nice. Concept stuff like this is quite fun because you can do quite a bit and you can come up with a bunch of ideas. Some of it may never be used, but there's a lot of potential that can come out of it. Yeah, no problem. Dan, Ria, Ratleg, TFT, I appreciate you all stopping by. We are going to raid Mika. What was it? Okay, I know which part of the game they're at. I'm curious if they have encountered this other thing yet. Which will make a really good... Which is a meme that I feel like hasn't been said in a long time for... Will of the Wisp, or if you weren't in the speedrunning community, it may not make as much sense, or especially in the early days, may not make much sense, but it's fine. Anyway, yeah, everyone have a wonderful rest of the night. May you continue to have chill vibes and just have a really good time. And yeah, let's get ready to say hi to Mika. All right, everyone. Cheers.